Our man opened his eyes and found himself in another world, surrounded by strangers whose language he didn't understand. Before this, he'd been drinking and accidentally stepped on, falling and hitting his head hard. He ended up reborn, reincarnated into this new body. Seeing his reflection in a mirror, he screamed in surprise. An old man rushed in, scolding him. His father introduced himself, calling him Liam, the fifth son of the Hamilton family. No inheritance, his father warned, but be careful. Who screams at a birthday party? The maid chided him. Relieved his father was in a good mood. He overheard conversations about his family. His sister expressed joy, wondering how she'd feel when he was sad. It seemed their family was overjoyed to finally have a daughter after 5 sons. Liam initially thought it was a dream, but the next morning, he woke up in the same body, unchanged. He had to accept the reality. Yesterday's him was gone, and God had given him a new life. He resolved to enjoy it. On his first day, he tried to learn more about his family from the maid. As the son of nobles, his family owned vast lands. However, his father's ambition extended beyond wealth. Bruno, his fourth brother, constantly pressured him about his future, emphasizing the need for significant achievements. Their sister's potential marriage to royalty could solidify their family's position. The country faced instability, and nobles were obligated to achieve something every 3 generations or lose their status. Time was running out. Their father feigned illness, planning to pass the inheritance to their eldest brother and Brevis, while the family remained stagnant, risking their noble status. Liam feigned ignorance, though he understood the situation perfectly. Bruno, now 13, urged his younger brother to think about his future soon, reminding him that those born later, especially as males, faced greater challenges. A tutor arrived to teach the brothers magic. Min was extremely excited, revealing a vast library of magic books in their estate. However, achieving mastery was rare, 1 in 100, making this learning seem more for show. Yet Liam believed in his own magical talent. He ran to the maid, asking her to take him to the library. Inside, he saw a vast collection of books. Trying to hold one, he realized that magic wasn't as difficult as he imagined. To his own surprise, Liam created a small fire in his hand on his first attempt, delighting his sister. He realized that if he could master magic, it would significantly improve his future prospects. Then, he approached his father, requesting permission to study all the magic books. His father, though initially hesitant due to the immense difficulty, eventually agreed. Liam felt a surge of relief. From that moment on, he had free access to the magic library. Every night, he delved into the books, discovering that magic was a form of synthesized knowledge, a unique weapon for the nobility.
Hey kiddos, today we have one of my most favorite enemies, Satoru Gojo.
Look, I don't usually ask for favors, but if you want more awesome anime recaps, please subscribe, like, and comment. I'm counting on you. You're the reason we keep going. Don't let us down.
The next morning, he ventured out to practice. He realized that normally, one would need to consult the book to cast spells. However, Liam, having already memorized the content, could simply recite the spell without the book, astonishing his brother. Bruno couldn't fathom how his younger brother had become so proficient in just a month. Such rapid learning was rare. He tried to replicate Liam's feat, but failed to conjure even a single spark of fire. Liam explained that even experienced mages typically take a year to master basic spells. His rapid progress suggested exceptional talent. Bruno, recognizing Liam's potential, believed he could achieve significant status within the kingdom, bolstering their family's security. He advised his brother to persevere. Liam, however, had other ambitions. He aimed to surpass his eldest brother and Brevis, but not by becoming a mere family head. He understood the inherent dangers of vying for power within the family. Having mastered fire magic, Liam sought to learn ice magic. However, his father summoned him. Impressed by Liam's magical abilities, his father demanded a demonstration. Liam, attempting to freeze the book in his hand, initially produced only a weak effect. Disappointed, he switched to fire magic, effortlessly conjuring flames without the aid of the book. His father was highly impressed, praising Liam's rapid progress. He granted Liam permission to acquire more books for his studies. While engrossed in his studies, Liam's father received an urgent message about an intruder. Gathering the soldiers, he remained unconcerned, continuing his practice in a secluded corner. To his surprise, he encountered the intruder with the man, recognizing Liam as a Hamilton, surrendered, assuming he was under arrest. Liam, confused by the intruder's strange behavior, ignored him and resumed his studies. Seeing Liam's dedication, the intruder, a more experienced mage, offered to guide him, promising to accelerate his progress beyond the traditional step-by-step approach. He revealed advanced techniques for manipulating multiple elements simultaneously, a skill that would significantly enhance his speed and efficiency. Intrigued, Liam eagerly accepted the offer. He was surprised by the intruder's generosity, as most nobles possessed inflated egos. It seemed as if the intruder truly admired Liam's talent. The first step involved drawing two shapes simultaneously with both hands. After confirming Liam's aptitude, the intruder revealed the secret. Instead of physically drawing, one should visualize and channel two different types of magic simultaneously, one from each hand. This technique proved challenging, but Liam, with focused concentration, managed to combine two elements. The intruder, impressed by Liam's rapid progress, continued to guide him, eager to see how far this talented young mage could go. Liam, though successful, found that this technique consumed a significant amount of magical energy. The intruder assured him that this was normal and that with further practice, he would be able to control his power more efficiently. With ample time ahead, Liam eagerly anticipated further instruction from his unexpected mentor. He pretended to obey and was told to sit down, but he knelt instead, which made his master happy. He then wrote down a series of numbers, but not in a straight line. Liam thought to himself, "Luckily, I've learned something like this recently. My teacher told me about this special way of doing things. This trick only works with special numbers called prime numbers. If you ask why, you won't get an answer. You have to figure it out yourself if you're curious. For example, if you try to do it in order, Liam will have trouble at the number 4. This is a very common mistake. Many people have this problem even though they can use 3 kinds of magic at the same time. So, they have to skip learning and jump to harder levels. But when they reach a score of 9, they will definitely get stuck. Be careful, because his magic is special. It creates 13 kinds of magic at once. If he tries really hard, he can make it go up to 16, but he's stuck there too. Going to 17 is like hitting a wall. So now Liam is only 12 years old, so his future will definitely be bright. Being young is sometimes a big help for us later on. On top of that, he also listens to advice from me. Liam thought it was obvious that studying with smart people was helpful, but his teacher heard that and laughed happily. He asked if Liam was really a noble, so he could help him in the future. He gave Liam a special ring. It's like a magic book that has all the important knowledge. It's much better to use this ring than to carry around normal books. Right now, there are about 100 valuable magic books inside. After Liam wore this ring, knowledge just flowed into his mind. It's true that how much you can learn depends on how good your memory is. Liam can remember about 300 spells right now. He also asked his master to let him try a few spells. The master realized that Liam's strongest skill was his focus. So, the young man used his magic. Powerful wind magic cut down all the trees in the area. At that moment, a maid came to call, but the master made her disappear. She shouted, "It's very dangerous here because someone is sneaking into the area. Their land is safe." The teacher gave Liam a book that the boss found for him to try. This is a simple summoning spell, but very useful right now. According to the teacher, Liam should ask his master. He just disappeared somewhere, but he's still here. Nguyen just used invisible magic, so no one can see him. It seems like time is running out, so he urges Liam to learn a few things. He did open the book and used the ring to call a small spirit. Right after it was absorbed, it was like storing a new spell in the ring. Liam saw this item. It's so amazing that he doesn't dare to believe it. He told his master that it's nothing special, but for people like them, it's truly valuable. From now on, if they want to learn any magic but don't have enough time, Liam can use the ring to remember it until they use it. The most important thing is whether your brain is smart enough to remember everything. The young man continued to call other special elves and then absorb them. The teacher just looked up, and then he disappeared without even leaving a name. The only message was to hope that they would try their best because they would definitely meet again in the future, and not to tell anyone about this meeting. Today's secret is like that. In the next while, Min improved in all ways. He was able to create many special ingredients that surprised Bruno. At this point, the older brother knew that his younger brother would have a successful future. "I came here to announce the marriage. Although my wife's family is only a minor noble family, it's good because I'll have more freedom." So, Liam congratulated me. Bruno asked his brother if he knew what their old man's biggest mistake was. It happened right after Liam was born. At that time, his father wanted a daughter to marry into the royal family to protect their position. Being a son, Dad had to take a different approach. He had to destroy a monster sealed in their homeland with a few thousand soldiers. However, that mission failed, and he lost 90 soldiers. The future is very uncertain, so Bruno advised his younger brother to be independent from now on. Hearing that, he thought he would have to earn his own money first. He had created some cool things, so he thought it would be easy to get a job. He was very ambitious to have more money. Both roadside stalls sell noodles, so the young man immediately thought of this. After finishing making noodles, he asked to try the first bowl of instant noodles in this world. The other two people were also born at the same time. He was surprised because you only need to pour hot water to eat them after marinating the noodles. He asked the spirit to absorb the moisture like that to preserve them. He thought it would sell well, but after bringing it to the store, he was rejected. The reason is that he is the fifth son in the family. Only the eldest brother's family can do business. Hearing that, he was a bit sad but didn't give up. He went home to find another way. Brevis then went out looking annoyed when his younger brother developed so terribly. To fulfill his desire to sell his products, he thought of a way to sell them himself instead of asking others. To do that, he created a copy of himself. Luckily, it worked well. So he sent the other guy to sell in another land because both sides had similar skills. The exchange of goods between them is very easy. Liam made instant noodles and sent them to his distant clone, who then sold them. After that, he always practiced with his own clone because they were almost equally strong. So, this training method was very effective. At that time, Ambus came to talk about how his younger brother had been improving very quickly recently. Everyone in the house was talking about it. It seemed like he felt his position was being threatened. So he met with Liam directly to find out what was going on. Andreev asked Liam what he wanted to do in the future. Liam said he wanted to live independently and find a job that suited him. Hearing that, Andreev was satisfied and immediately introduced Liam to the Hunters Association. The next day, he was there, surprising the people there. True to its name, the Hunters Association is a place where people get paid to kill monsters. Because he was a child, he was also advised to go play somewhere else. The guild leader had already heard his brother's recommendation, but Liam still had to take some job tests. This is about real life, so it can't be taken lightly. After all, Min is a noble. If he dies somewhere, it will be a big deal. He asked the young man to use a type of magic that he was confident in and even allowed him to read the spell slowly. He took it slow because he was afraid Liam would forget. He always remembered that every time he uses magic, he just needs to say the name. He doesn't have to chant. Currently, his clone is outside. Liam was still working independently, so he couldn't use all his power. However, he was still stronger than the president. He was so scared that if he used his full power, he might even hurt someone. The witnesses started to realize that this kid was not weak at all. They had never seen illusion magic like that before, so they considered it an advanced skill. There was also a girl who was quite interested in the guild master. After learning more about Liam's abilities, she agreed to let him start at the B rank level. She was curious to see how good he was. Then, the girl from the group came over to introduce herself. After knowing about the Hamilton bamboo shoots, she also introduced herself. She said, "I'm Asuna." Because she liked Liam at first sight, she also invited him to form a hunting team together. He was a bit shy because she was so forward. However, he really liked this type of person, so he agreed right away. Having been doing this job for a while now, they have more experience. So, the two of them went to the nearby forest to start their adventurous work. Normally, only A-rank hunters and above can get special jobs, but for B-rank hunters like them, they just kill whatever they see and bring it back to exchange. Suddenly, a few baby wolves appeared in front of them. Asuna, the fierce wolf, has a bloodthirsty personality. Who would have thought she would be surrounded? She was a bit scared. Liam also asked if he could handle everything. This was nothing. His friend agreed, so he called out a bunch of spirits. The spirits went straight into the wolves' mouths. After the wolves swelled up, their danger level was 0. So, Min also asked Asuna to deliver the finishing blow. By the end of the day, they brought back a whole pack of more than 40 monsters. The guild leader and the hunters were amazed. Looking at this scene, they were so surprised they didn't know what to say. He could do this on the first day, so he gave the couple a special mission. This was a rare opportunity to receive a commission, so they agreed. Asuna always seemed to be happy on the way, which made Liam happy too. She said that everyone was paying attention to them, so in the future, leveling up would become easier. In addition, she said that a very important person would be visiting soon. So, the association sent someone to kill the monster first. They were afraid that if it attacked, it would be a big problem. Looking at the bug's form, Asuna was a bit worried because she didn't like many things about it. Also, these types of creatures are very strong. They often have magic stones in their bodies, so they can sometimes use magic too. Normally, only A-class hunters dare to fight them directly, but Min's skills are even better. So, he wasn't afraid. Today, he didn't use his clone so he could use all his power. However, after fighting the monster, they both had to run away because it was stronger than them. Also, its outer shell was very hard. Magic didn't work well on it, but Asuna could cause damage. However, her power wasn't enough. She complained a little because she was given a special mission but failed. She wished a meteorite would fall and hit the creature's head because that would definitely kill it. Hearing that, Liam had a good idea. He wanted to ask his teammates to give him time so he could try it after he finished preparing everything. Asuna played the role of a decoy to lure the monster and seized the opportunity to use a special item and at the same time drop the whole mountain on its head to crush the worm. Her friend saw this scene and was shocked. She didn't expect his skills to be so powerful. So, after they brought back 2 monsters instead of 1, the president was shocked and asked how they did it. The other girl was also proud and said that an important person was about to arrive. If this creature appeared, it would definitely be a disaster. She asked the guild master to pay them extra for trying, and of course, he understood. So, he increased the reward 5 times, making them very happy. A few days later, a high-ranking noble came to the city. His older brother and his father were both there to welcome Andreev. He had recently heard that his younger brother had many achievements, so he praised him and smiled slyly. Asuna said frankly that he looked like an idiot, which made her feel helpless. Even though they are brothers in the family, it's true as Bruno said that latecomers like them are a nuisance. The man got off the carriage and immediately noticed the girl next to him. Seeing her, he looked happy because that way they could advance in the world. The next day, Liam was called to talk privately. He introduced himself as Jam and knew very well about the Mindel Golden Ring. So, he curiously asked what the relationship was between the young man and the Duamon. This made Liam confused, but then he understood. He was talking about the old master who killed that person and stole the ring. Immediately, the child jumped up and said that was his master, and that this was the first gift he gave him. Hearing that, the old man believed it. He thought that because of the monk's personality, he often did things like this. After telling the story of that day, he laughed happily. Because Liam claimed to be the disciple of a talented person, he really wanted to know how strong he was now. There were bodyguards there who also required the young man to use all his strength. He should be as strong as an A-class hunter, but he still couldn't block it. Liam shot out 11 types of magic at the same time. Remembering the previous time, after being taught by his master, he realized many things related to high-level spells. This improved the amount of magic power in his body, so he could use many spells at once. He should have stopped at the 7th mark before he could continue to advance. But thanks to his imagination, his heart and soul were moved. He jumped straight up to the 11th mark, extremely satisfied. Because every teacher gives different skills, they can use many different skills at the same time. No wonder the monk gave him a ring. Knowing that he is only the 5th son, he understands very well and wants to help him become independent by giving him a title. Let Liam become a young knight from now on. He is no longer a threat to Raven, so he won't be afraid of being made things difficult for him in the future. Basically, from now on until he is old enough, Liam will still be able to live with his family and relatives. The next day, the official title belonged to Liam. Mr. Jam said this after announcing it to the family. His father was not happy, because in the future, he really wants to use his son's power, so Liam must still help the old man in other ways to maintain his position. But I feel so sorry for him. He continued to ask about things related to the rope, calling his master a naughty boy. He asked if Liam had been teased recently. He also told him that recently, when he was practicing using the penis object, he received a message from his master. When he opened it and read it, he found out that his master had predicted that he would come here in the future to practice. So, he prepared a gift inside the lake he had just drained. Remo had sprinkled gold dust into the lake for people to avoid detection. The total weight was up to 100 kilograms, and the person who could collect the whole set was only Liam. He should be quite sure that this is a graduation gift from his master, and at the same time, give a topic related to 100 kilograms of gold for him to decode. If successful, it means that Liam has completed the recent test. Because he is a bit busy, he still can't do it. The boss heard that and suggested that the pile of gold dust was just a metaphor. The graduation test for him is actually much more difficult. How could a magician give his disciple 100 pounds of gold for anything? Right now, that gift is hidden, so you have to find a way to get it immediately. That is, he returned to the lake near his house to try again. This time, he continued to drain the water inside, but didn't see anything unusual as suggested by his master. He realized he needed to filter the gold dust out of the water himself. He had mastered the ability to use penis items, so this was quite simple. After 100 kilograms of gold dust fell to the bottom of the lake, a special seal was opened. Along with that was the secret passage. He thought if there was no one who suggested it, he probably wouldn't be able to solve the riddle for the rest of his life. Below is a priceless gift that even the rope can't use. It's a maximum level magic book. I hope my student will surpass me. To use it, the following days, He always spent a few hours at night to study. However, he never succeeded. In his mind, he thought he still had a lot of time. There is no need to rush. Just slowly study carefully and follow each step written in the book. Thanks to the efforts of the young man, he successfully created a room located in another dimension. Its width will depend on the user's current skills and magic power. This room is not too big, but still enough to contain many things. Liam is thinking that he will use this place as a secret base to nurture his imagination. In the days after that, he and Asuna still continued to work together. Today they encountered a pretty strong monster that can use all kinds of magic. The evil body is immune to fire spirits, so it's a bit difficult to defeat it. He was about to use his ultimate move, but then the room opened, creating space for his friend to get in so they could avoid damage. Chow fought for a long time and died, so right after that, the couple brought back the magic stone inside the giant frog. This was an A rank commission. He thought it would be difficult. The credit all goes to Liam, so she's a bit sad because she is still too weak. This uncle came up with an idea to help her become stronger in a short time by making a contract with him. Liam said she can increase her stats here. People often do that to take advantage when fighting. Asuna knows he won't do anything perverted to her, so she thanks him. In fact, even if Liam wanted to, she would have also resigned, but she quite liked her friend, so she agreed. The president stood up to prove their connection, and after completing it, Asuna really became much stronger. Not only that, her appearance also became attractive. This spell is so powerful. Liam wanted to learn more, but didn't know who to ask. Asuna heard that and brought him to meet Jody, who always helped her with everything. After knowing the situation, she agreed to the contract. She wished with Liam that she would be a long-time hunter. If they form a party, Asuna thought it would be great. After completing it, she suddenly became a few years younger, which surprised the people in the guild. Both girls, after making the contract, received a special skill. Asuna's special skill allows her to move at high speed and is more of a recovery type as she can heal others by making food. The hunters witnessed this scene and saw it. It was a miracle. A few days later, Mr. James came to visit and said that the princess would be coming. He also asked Liam to take his two teammates to perform and entertain them with all the recent information. Scarlet was very interested in him, so Liam refused straight away. The old man was scared and asked why. He called Asuna and Jody friends, not tools for others to admire, including people. Even if it was a princess, he would still keep this intention. Scarlet was actually behind, and when she heard Liam's strong declaration, she seemed quite curious to meet him in person and see if he would keep that style or not. A few days later, Liam was summoned to meet the princess. He felt very nervous as he approached the gate. The princess was standing some distance away, waiting for him. Entering the room, he felt a bit overwhelmed. She also participated in the ceremony, then sat down and got straight to the point. She wanted to know how he defeated the carnivorous worm and the giant frog. This was an easy question for him to answer, so he breathed a sigh of relief. After telling the whole story, the princess looked excited. She had never heard of someone defeating a giant frog without powerful magic. Then, she asked about his two teammates and the contract she wasn't allowed to see. He secretly suspected that the princess had been using her power to control everyone, and she might be plotting something. Liam still refused. Scarlet, the princess, frowned and asked again if he would disobey her. Liam didn't look at her and said, "I can't let my friends be manipulated." This declaration surprised the princess. She praised him and laughed, finding him very interesting. The day before, she had enjoyed playing the role of a maid, but she found this direct conversation even more interesting. He was then given the title of Baron. Liam was surprised. Scarlet said, "Making me laugh twice is a lot, so just accept the reward. But there's still a gift." It was a magic book to improve the contracts he made with others. He didn't know how powerful it was, but he was very excited to learn new magic spells. Scarlet was amused. She didn't expect him to be more excited about this than becoming a baron. As soon as he returned, Liam immediately started studying the book until he mastered it. All previous contracts were temporarily canceled. Suddenly, his brother Bruno arrived, surprising him. Bruno had come to congratulate him on becoming a baron. He was very proud of Liam because they were close. Bruno thought their eldest brother would be shocked because Liam now held a higher rank than their father. Liam didn't fully understand. He was then explained that nobility in this country had a complex system. The first person to achieve something became a noble, and their legitimate heirs inherited the title. Since Liam had achieved great things himself, he ranked higher. Later that night, he met Albervit, who seemed to be in a bad mood. Albervit felt like he had lost too much to his younger brother, and his competitive nature drove him to prove himself in the upcoming event. He overheard the maids praising Liam, saying he was so awesome. Albervit felt bitter. He asked the maid, "Between me and my little brother, Who is better? The maid hesitantly said Albervit is better. The next day, Liam went out with his teammates. Asuna and Jody were always the center of attention because they were young and attractive. Asuna was innocent and naive, while Jody was plump and cute. They suddenly called Liam Master, making him feel a bit embarrassed. Jody explained, "We have a contract, so we call each other like that. There's nothing wrong with it." Liam simply asked to be called by his name. Asuna noticed that Liam had become calmer and more reliable. She realized this was because of their close bond. Outsiders looked at the young Baron with admiration, making him uncomfortable. He asked Asuna and Jody if they were sure they wanted to be on his team for a long time. Asuna, of course, agreed. Liam was happy and shook hands with his teammates. Their mission today was to destroy a pack of ferocious wolves. Jody was an archer, making their fighting style very diverse. The two women worked together seamlessly. One shot, and the other slashed. The monsters were easily defeated. Asuna's speed had increased significantly, and Jody had exceptional eyesight. Jody, as an archer, relied heavily on her vision. Liam asked if she needed help seeing better. His new magic book had an ability to enhance his teammates. Liam tried it and Jody was shocked. She could now aim from incredibly long distances. Asuna curiously asked what he had done. Liam explained that he had used magic to enhance her eyesight. Asuna was excited and wanted to try the magic on herself, but he refused. He was worried that her body wouldn't be able to handle the sudden increase in strength, unlike a vision increase. With her enhanced vision, Jody easily shot down several wolves, leaving them no chance to react. She thanked Liam, as she couldn't have shot from that distance before. The two of them simply thanked each other. Later that afternoon, a major event occurred. They learned that their eldest brother, in a misguided attempt to prove himself, had accidentally released a powerful monster. The situation was chaotic. This mistake could destroy the entire city. Adventurers were scrambling to contain the situation. Liam heard this news and immediately rushed to the scene. He witnessed soldiers with amputated limbs and many who had lost their lives. Albervit, their eldest brother, was also injured, but he was luckier than his angry followers who refused to accept defeat. Before Albervit could say anything, the guild master knocked him unconscious for his reckless actions. The master declared that he had no time for Albervit's meaningless rivalry. He stated that the evil dragon, Reborn, had been unsealed. Albervit, in his desire for recognition, had unintentionally unleashed this terrible creature. Fortunately, the guild leader knew how to seal Reborn, because along back Liam's great-grandfather had sealed Reborn there. Later, they gathered many powerful mages, but there were obstacles to overcome. Reborn had spawned powerful offspring, monstrous creatures that could cause immense destruction. However, Reborn himself was weakened from being sealed for so long and had not fully regained his power. If he had, the city would have been obliterated. The deadline for sealing Reborn was a week. Everyone relied heavily on luck. Liam, determined to increase their chances of success, decided to defeat one of the baby dragons. Asuna was surprised. The baby dragon was only the size of a dog, but its strength was comparable to an elephant. She rushed forward to attack, but the dragon unleashed a blast of fire, nearly killing her. Realizing that close combat was too dangerous, Asuna resorted to magic. However, even the most powerful magic was ineffective against the three dragons. Jody advised Liam to retreat, acknowledging the danger. He hesitated, then devised a plan. He instructed his teammates to run and then summoned a penis item. This likely refers to a magical item, and the term penis item is likely a placeholder or a playful nickname. With the help of his another world, another magical item or ability, Liam managed to trap the three dragons inside the penis item. He then activated a self-destruct mechanism within the item, destroying the dragons. Liam had succeeded, but only by risking his teammates' lives. The guild master then led a group of 20 magicians to confront Reborn. Utilizing their combined magic, they began to seal the evil dragon. Reborn, seemingly unfazed, displayed an air of boredom. Asuna, noticing the familiar magic being used, asked Liam to explain. He told her that the Another World created a separate space. The young dragon would soon realize that the trapped creatures had vanished. Liam hadn't fully mastered the magic yet, and the trapped beings would eventually disappear. Asuna praised him for his ingenuity. Liam then heard the voice of the ancient dragon, Reborn. Reborn expressed sadness, explaining that humans were not always this way. Centuries ago, humans and dragons coexisted peacefully. After examining Liam's soul, Reborn realized it was vast and pure. He understood that Liam and Reborn were essentially one being, inhabiting different bodies. Radon wanted to be friends with Liam, not out of fear of being sealed, but to experience a different kind of existence. He offered to share his dragon power with Liam, not to make him all-powerful, but to help him achieve his dreams. Liam, sensing no hostility, agreed. Radon temporarily borrowed Liam's soul to enter his body and warn him about his powers, a powerful sorcerer who had obtained the sacred dragon mark. Liam could now use dragon power to enhance his own magic. Everyone was shocked, especially Liam. He could now cast powerful spells without chanting, but the immense dragon power was affecting those around him. Radon instructed Liam to control the power carefully. Fortunately, Asuna and Jody were unaffected due to their contract with Liam. The president praised Liam for saving the city and warned him to be cautious with the dragon power. Liam rewarded Guild Master with 10 kilograms of gold to compensate for the losses suffered by the injured. That night, Liam's father thanked him for preventing the disaster and for cleaning up the mess caused by his eldest brother, Albravit. Albravit was now under house arrest, forbidden from leaving. Liam was worried about Albravit losing his inheritance due to their constant rivalry. Liam visited Albravit's room, feeling a sense of responsibility. He understood that Albravit, despite his reckless actions, truly wanted to protect their family. The next day, Liam had a dream about a powerful magic spell. He rushed into the forest and successfully summoned a small dragon as his familiar. It was a miniature version of Radon, incredibly powerful. Princess Scarlet, witnessing this, called it holy magic, a legendary power. She was astonished and asked how Liam had achieved this. Liam explained how he had defeated Radon, including the part where he lent his soul to the dragon. Scarlet inquired about the nature of their interaction and Liam's use of holy magic. Scarlet asked Liam to keep the details of their conversation secret for a while. She rewarded him with the prestigious Nobel-class Phoenix Medal and sent 3,000 gold coins to his family. Liam was unsure whether to be happy or sad about the reward, but ultimately, he accepted it. So, Mr. James also went to see Liam to talk about him using magic. Liam didn't know what to do because after receiving the hush money from the princess, he realized the problem. Calling Liam too young and giving him such a large amount of money could make people think defeating the dragon was a very easy thing to do, and that it was enough to keep their noble title for 3 more generations. Normally, Scarlet would have to go back to the capital and tell the king about this, but she must have been having fun and wanted to stay here. That was why he thought Liam was hiding something from him. According to the announcement, the evil dragon was extremely large. That creature had turned into light and entered his body. When James said this, Liam couldn't hide it anymore, and he admitted that he had learned some holy magic. Sir James also wanted to see it, and Liam showed him 3 kinds of holy magic. From now on, he would be able to heal any sickness, even poison, and could stop people from turning to stone. It's true that people call holy magic the power of God. By the way, he asked if Liam had ever heard of the war between 3 dragons, and Liam didn't know anything. So, he was also told that a long time ago, 3 dragons fought, and one of them won. The legend says that to defeat the other 2 dragons, they needed holy magic. The winning dragon joined forces with a girl, and then used their power to create a new kingdom. And that kingdom is where Liam is standing. He asked Mr. Liam what he thought about a dragon joining forces with a human. He guessed they were in love, but in reality, it was completely wrong. Back to the main problem. Wasn't Liam already one with the dragon? There was a high chance that Mr. Radon was the creature mentioned. It's very possible that Liam was recreating the legend of this kingdom's birth. But because of that, 2 big problems arose. Sir James was worried about Liam's family, especially his father. The Hamilton family was given the title of nobility for sealing the evil dragon. But if the creature inside him helped create this country, then what is more correct? Mr. John could be their ancestor. This means the king might be angry and take away all their titles. In the worst case, everything they have built for generations would disappear. Hearing that, Liam was very scared because his brother and father have tried very hard to protect the family. The second problem is that the dragon was wrongly called evil. The dragon will rebel and try to get revenge on this country. For a second, Liam thought it's right because he was suddenly locked up for so many years. Who wouldn't get angry? To clear things up, Liam talked to Mr. Radon and knew that he wouldn't cause trouble for himself with human rules. Liam also trusted his friend inside his body and said that he wouldn't rebel but was only interested in his own life. Hearing that, Sir James was reassured and considered Liam as the savior of the entire kingdom. This story is true, so he will also try his best to help the young man. On the way back, he wants to test some new magic he has learned. Meeting Asuna and Jody here, It seems that something happened, so the two aunts and nieces are very worried. Liam went somewhere else. Some people saw Liam and ran out to see him, but were stopped because he needed to talk privately. It turned out that after the news of the young man defeating the dragon spread, many adventurers wanted to join his team. Everyone wanted to use Liam's success to get ahead. When he returned home, he continued to receive another surprise. There were many requests for blind dates for him to find a wife. He also guessed that this would happen. Who would have thought that there would be so many? Even Bruno was asked by his wife's family to bring pictures of his relatives for his younger brother to choose. He asked what Liam had done that made things turn out like this. Liam said he only defeated the evil dragon, nothing more. Bruno didn't believe it because there must be something else that his younger brother was hiding. Because of the current situation, many nobles wanted to know more about him. The feeling of being famous was really fun, but it also came with a lot of trouble. A little later, the young man and two beautiful girls went to see the space-time room. Asuna was very eager to go inside. When she entered, she saw a whole house here, and Jody thought that this space was only used to hide when in danger. Who would have thought that Liam would turn it into their base? And because he was stronger than before, the surrounding space also got much bigger. Her friend wondered, "Aren't you afraid that it will disappear again?" He knew that after mastering the skill, the objects would stay the same. Everything in the house was great. Unfortunately, there was no day or night here. Liam hadn't thought about this yet, so he tried summoning the spirit to see if it could make everything dark. Although it was only a low-level spirit, this space was just big enough for it to cover everything in darkness. When it was done, it looked completely black, so Liam had to create fire to see. It was true that it was dark, but it wasn't as real as outside. Jody asked Liam if he could change it more gently, but if it was a mid-level spirit, it would be able to. So he decided to make a contract with them to help strengthen its skills. After it evolved, it could talk, and the night also matched the outside environment. The spirit was very grateful and promised to always help the master. So, summon it when needed. Liam then realized he hadn't mastered this magic yet, so the spirit told him to give him the ring he wears. It's considered an ancient storage device, and besides the uses he knew, it has many other functions, so he can completely keep the contracted spirits inside. Next time, he doesn't have to summon another one. Hearing that, he tried it and it worked, making the two girls happy. Liam continued to train the fire salamander spirit and other element spirits. Normally, a person can only have two at most, which is already a lot. Liam also has all the systems, just like a national treasure. He wants to practice more to master it. The next day, Liam had to go to the location the dragon had chosen to do a favor. It's in the place where Redon sleeps. Actually, there is still a barrier that he himself hides from human eyes to make it easier to find. He asked Liam to summon the baby dragon through the barrier so he could go inside. The scene was completely different and looked more beautiful. Around him, there were also little fairies. When they saw the humans, they were all scared and flew away. But the young man called them back and told them to come, as Redon had said. After seeing the baby dragon, they believed him. It turned out that his friend had asked Liam to protect the people here. Fairies were extremely valuable to adventurers, so their numbers were decreasing at an alarming rate. Without help, they would have become extinct long ago. His mission was to give each fairy a name so they could evolve, and at the same time, the contract would always succeed. He helped the little fairies become beautiful elves. Reina was the first to be blessed. Seeing this, her friends lined up and evolved one after another. After this, Liam learned that he should name creatures that didn't have any. Some beautiful girls also considered Liam as a messenger and said they loved him. From now on, he wanted them to build a house and live like humans. Reina trusted the young man to be a leader. Suddenly, at this moment, Liam felt energy radiating from the forest. He saw that it was a special fruit collected by the little fairies. Redon also encouraged him to try it. Reina had no opinion because now what is theirs is also his, right? After absorbing a large amount of magic power, Liam was stronger. Now he can shoot 19 fireballs at the same time, making him very happy. The next day, he visited the Reina girls again. They announced that they had just finished building a house and wanted the master to come and see it. Seeing this scene, he was helpless but couldn't blame them because the elves never built houses before. At this time, suddenly a few people had found their way here to capture people because the elves were beautiful, so they auctioned them off for profit. Liam went to save Sushi, telling her not to be afraid because he was here. One guy was about to rush in and fight, but was beaten by magic and flew away. Seeing that, the other two also tried to fight, but in the end, they got defeated. After this incident, he knew it would be very dangerous here, so Liam created a private space for the sisters to live temporarily. They were transported to the land under the control of the Hamilton family. He explained that he used magic to bring them here. Before finding a safe place to live, they stayed here. The girls bowed and begged Liam to become the leader. In other words, Liam was like their king. Vina was willing to do anything. He said that, and Liam agreed but couldn't call himself king. While giving them instant noodles to try, the young man learned the holy magic that Redon gave him. However, it was a bit difficult, so he still couldn't do it. His friend saw that he was really persistent. Liam seemed eager to try the new magic, so he had to try harder. A few days later, when he had mastered it, he gathered everyone together to use teleportation. Before that, he had sent a copy to scout the area, so he could do that. The distance from here to Lame's land was about 100 kilometers. This place was called by Redon as a sealed land that no one had ever lived in. Knowing that, he also instructed the young man on how to break the barrier. From now on, this place would be everyone's home. Liam asked about the reason Redon kept this land. He didn't say that. To live, water is needed, so Liam called Wind in, the water-type elf, to ask. After evolving, she found a clean water source. The next thing they needed was knowledge about construction. In her free time, she also practiced a few short teleportation spells. If it was before, the casting time would be longer, but now she can teleport continuously in time. Liam called out 3 dragons to protect the girls. When they got home, suddenly the princess came to visit. She asked about the dragon inside her. Did she mention anything about the promised land? It honestly said that I only know about the sealed land. So he also took Scarlet to see it. However, he also asked her to find an engineer to prepare to build a house by creating a clone of him. Liam easily found a helper who was skilled at looking and acting like him after arriving at her place. The other was very surprised by what she saw. She wanted to ask the dragon if this was the promised land as written in the old stories. Redon said that he didn't make any promises to humans. Scarlet talked about the end of the world. Humanity would be saved from dying out and invited to a safe place, which was what this land seemed to be, and Min had become its leader. The royal family had a special piece that was connected to the Redon string. As soon as it felt the dragon's power in Liam's body, a piece of the land suddenly rose up. This was how this place started to float in the air. Scarlet suddenly knelt down and asked Liam to create a new country here because in the future, if everyone else in the world died, there would still be a place to live. She herself didn't understand because she couldn't be loyal to the leader of the promised land.
Hey there, darling. I know this is a new channel, but I really need your support. So please hit that subscribe button. It's just like joining a squad, and trust me, you don't want to miss out on all the fun. So come on, darling. Let's dive into more epic recaps together. Once again, please subscribe.